Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're doing another video that is very similar to one that I did quite a while back, but because of the success that it had and the amount of comments and positive feedback that we got from that video, we're doing another comparison video. Now previously I did the Tour Response versus the TP5, comparing it for a handicap golfer. Well, today we're testing out the ProV1 against my gamer, which is the Tour Response. And we're going to see, should I stick with the Tour Response or should I move to the ProV1 as a handicap golfer? What are the benefits? What are the negatives? We're going to test it over the driving, putting, wedge shots, all kinds of shots, and of course its overall performance as we play a few holes. That's what we're going to do today. ProV1 versus the Tour Response. Let's get into it. So like I mentioned, we are testing the ProV1 against my gamer, the Tour Response golf ball. We're going to compare it, like I said, over overall game, wedge, spin, putting, driving. Stay tuned for the driving because that'll be the last thing to go. Let's just see how it performs. As a handicap golfer, like myself, I'm around 17 handicap as it stands. Is it worth me changing from a Tour Response to a ProV1? Is there any pros or cons to the switch? Let's go. First hole, par 3. Let's go straight into it. Okay, so the first hole, par 3, 147 yards. In no particular order, I'm just going to play my gamer first, which is the Tour Response. Let's just find the green. Ah, like that one. Sit down now. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now what you would have noticed, high trajectory, which we know, if you read what they say, the information says that it is a high but a low spin, which is what I like. Now whereas the ProV1 is supposedly a higher spin, but a lower penetrating flight. So let's have a look. Sit. Not bad, again not bad, slightly cutty. Whether it was slightly lower, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a bit too hard to say on an 8 iron. Let's go out there and test the putting. So as I mentioned before, the reason why I'm doing this is because last time I did this video, when I was comparing the Tour Response against the TP5, it went down quite well, got a good response. You enjoyed that one. So I thought, why not test it again? But this time we're going to test it against arguably the best ball in the game, the ProV1. Head to head, see if I like it. As a handicap golfer, there'll be no, like the last one, there'll be no data, no numbers. It's just based on feel, by the eye, how it feels off the putter, what it looks like in the air. Ultimately, is overall performance and whether I get the benefits of a ProV1 as opposed to the Tour Response. So as we're walking up, I didn't find the green with the ProV1. That's nothing to say that there's anything about it. It's just the way I struck it. Did find the green there. Supposedly, very good green side spin. So let's just test that now while we're here, and then we'll do a fair putting analysis. So a little 60. I mean, it's not really the best place to be testing it, is it? But that's not a bad strike. So first thoughts though, when I hit that ball, just then on the wedge, slightly clickier sound. I can't remember whether it is softer than the ProV1X, but I can't remember if it's much harder than the Tour Response. It did feel a bit clickier. Okay, let's do some putting and ultimately test it. So let's go with the Tour Response. Slightly, from my perspective, right to left. Not really lining it up, it's just more of how it feels off the face. Not really worried about it going in. See, that feels great off the putt. I do like that feel. Immediately go straight into the ProV1. It's not too much harder, it's not too much firmer. There is a slight difference in firmness, only slight, but there is definitely a difference in the firmness. Maybe a little bit clickier, but I would never grumble with that putt. That feels nice off the putter face, which is what you want. You want a good feeling, confident feeling, especially when you're on the green. First impression, not bad, not bad. So I brought you onto another par 3 just before we continue with maybe some spin wedge games. Spin wedge games? What does that even mean? On the wedge shots and seeing what the spin's like. Had a brief look at the putting. I'm going to see now and have a conscious thought as to whether I can notice a clickiness or a firmness difference. Right, this time ProV1 goes first. So let's get it. 157 yards. Let's go. Thinned it slightly. Whether that makes a difference to the click. Still went though, didn't it? I mean, as it was a bit of a thin, it was a bit low, more penetrating. So it's not really a good representation. But we're not a pro golfer, so we just got to notice the difference between forgiveness and consistency, don't we? Oh, it's another thin as well. Sit. Another thin. 2 thins for the wins. So another test we like to test out is, of course, the bunkers, isn't it? See how it performs out of a bunker. Now, I'm not the best out of bunkers, as I used to be, but not so much at the moment. Don't want that club. So, come on. I like that though. So let's try it again with the Pro V. Again, another great shot. Run out a bit further, maybe I clipped it a bit better, but 2 shots. I mean, I don't know what I'm really trying to show at a bunker, apart from it's normally you test the durability, right? But I wanted to just see how I could play them. Both came out nicely, both felt nice off the face when I hit them. Arguably, I obviously hit the ProV1 a little bit better as it got to the hole. Maybe a bit of a pointless exercise. What we know isn't a pointless exercise is, of course, the feel off the face on the putter. So we can do that again, see if we can sink it. I don't know what the scores are. These balls should have been competing against each other, but I haven't done that. Right, come on then. Tour response. All pushed it. Terrible putt, terrible putt. Come on, Pro V. Good roll. Well, Pro V was the successor on that one, even though some of the exercises we performed there were pretty pointless. Right, let's move on now. Let's hit some 100-yard shot. No, actually, let's go into the driving. Go into driving, see how far they go compared to each other as a handicap golfer hitting them, and then we'll finish off with some spinny wedge shots. Right, stop. As I was walking to go and do the driving test, I thought, Lewis, you haven't given them a real showing from long-range shots. So we've got another par 3 here, 190 yards. Let's just see how they perform. Let's see the flight, see if there is any difference in flight. This is another good test for the irons, isn't it? Pro V1. Let's see ya. Let's see ya. Oh, that was absolutely lovely to hit. Is it long enough? That's the question. Oh, it just caught the bank. It just caught the bank. Again, that went high, didn't it? Went high. So I don't know whether that's the spin, whether it's just too spinny for me. Might be too spinny for me, I don't know. This is the tour response. Now I'm expecting this to come out, amazingly, a little bit faster. Might be the same thing. Oh! I'm not too sure. I think that is over. That, again, wasn't the best of strikes. I cut across it, but it definitely felt, I'll tell you now, after thinking that definitely felt softer. 100% did that feel softer, and they both were good strikes. They both felt really clean, great strikes, not the fins that we had. They both felt fantastic, and the tour response is definitely 100% softer. You can feel that. And let's do some driving. So firstly, thank you to everyone who stuck around to watch this video through some of the nonsense tests that we have done. This was never going to have numbers and data. Like the last one, it was more just sharing with you my experiences and what I find natural, real, genuine feelings towards the 2 golf balls in question. Tour response, £33, I think I last saw it at. ProV1, £47. Is there a justification in that? From what I've seen so far, I would say for myself, no way. No way. I mean, it felt lovely. It does feel nice off the face. It might be a little bit clickier and a little bit firmer, but I haven't seen any major gains with the ProV1 as opposed to my Tour Response Gamer. I think what Taylormade have done with the Tour Response is absolutely incredible. I think they've done some amazing stuff with the Tour Response, which is probably why it's up there and quite a sought after ball. A lot of people using the Tour Response find it a very popular ball. Did say that we've got do some driving testing as well, so we'll do that and then we'll finish up. I think we've already concluded, but I think we'll conclude again once we've finished up on the driving. Here we are. This is the driving hole. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is where we found the interesting results on the last comparison video. So, just gonna compare whichever one's closest to the tee, which is Tour Response. That's first. So up first, Tour Response. Let's see. Normally my driving now is crept up to 220 on the carry. Let's see if we can do it. Oh my God, that was absolutely flusheroonie. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was absolutely flusheroonied. Bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
I mean, it's gonna have to take a lot for me to be convinced. Even if I hit this poorly, right? You can't argue with that, can you? You cannot argue with that. Wow, okay. Come on then. Let's see what you've got, ProV. Let's see what you've got. And that was a lovely ball flight as well, wasn't it? Absolutely lovely ball flight. Now, again, that felt great, slightly pulley. It didn't look like it hooked. It might have just stayed in play between the trees and that. I'm not too sure. Again, felt great. If we could find it, then fantastic. We could see the results, right? Because I've only got one of those ProV1s. I know, flawed from the very start, but what do you expect here from golf days? Right, it's a pretty flawed system, pretty flawed testing. We've had fun with it, right? But it's a handicap's genuine feelings with the two balls, which I think is more relatable to you guys than someone like a Rick Shields or a Peter Finch hitting them on a sim and getting numbers and data, which is never going to be the same as us. I think it's fair we can say that. So let's see if we can find that ProV1 and then finish up from there. Right, hold up, stop. Before we get down to the ball, I'm walking down to the balls now, the driving ones. Before we do finish, stick around because I'm going to hit some 100-yard shots in and just see where we're at, what's the spin rate with a wedge. So let's do that. Okay, believe it or not, folks, we have found it. It is just in bounds. You could argue just in bounds. It's there. That's where the ProV1 has landed. It was a great strike again off the face. I just dragged it. And over there is the Tour Response. You know what that says to me? That says to me there is no reason for me to go for a ProV1 when I've just cream pied a Tour Response ball here to within 70 yards of the green. 70 yards of the green. I've just zapped the tee box. There's a tree right next to the tee box. 280 yards. That ball's just gone. You don't need any more than that. I've never hit that high. I know it's firm, so it's bouncing a lot, but I've just cream pied a Tour Response ball. There's no reason to go for a ProV1, is there? Is there? Unless, of course, we see something magical now. But even now, even if I got some great wedge spin, I don't understand why, as us handicap golfers, why we'd ever think about going for a nearly 50 quid ball over a 33-pound ball. Mental. Anyway, let's finish with some wedges. Both of them, again, like I say, both were great drives, just one was slightly pulley, which you could argue should go further because it's a pull, not a slice. So, let's just see. Let's just see. Mind you, I did middle the face out of this Tour Response, absolutely cream pied it. Right, let's go. That's a lovely, lovely strike. Stop dead. Right, I wonder if I get any spin on this. I wonder. Again, another good strike. No. So to me, I'll zoom in on the shots. To me, there is no difference, personally, between those two balls. There wasn't any jizz back or spin back that you should be getting with Pro V1, more so than the Tour Response. I think it just, again, is one of the best balls for any average golfer. I think we've established what we needed to establish. Like I said, I'm just dribbling on now just to finish up this video. I'm going to do some final putts. There was a slight difference in the firmness and clickiness of the two balls, but like the other comparison video, I'm not going to give too much away where we compared the Tour Response and the TP5. To me, the Tour Response just seems to win everywhere for us average golfers. And I think, hopefully, you found this video extremely useful. Snap. Snap. Hope you found it useful. I have found it really useful because I didn't know what to expect from this test, and it was just a genuine test and asking the question. I did not know what to expect from this test, but what I am glad I have found out is that the Tour Response is still an absolute banger of a ball, and you guys should be saving yourself money. Forget that Pro V1. Tour Response wins every time. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Big love to all of you. Unless it's golf, keep looking up.